too, man. It's Malik. You know, so we got NBA stars who carried their team to a championship. You know, right now we see I see Dirk Nowitzki. You know, we got we gotta have LeBron and probably, you know what I'm saying, some other good key players. You know what I'm saying, that's some stars. But man, and put down in the comments who you got for this year's NBA Finals. If you come across this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Let's get into it.
While basketball is obviously a team sport, it's
Facts,
one of
bro,
the
it is.
easier ones for a particular player to take over a game. The best players have the ability to put their teams on their back.
I know Adam Iverson got to be on this list too, man. He had really nobody. Hold on, I said championship. Well, he ain't win no championship, but never mind. He carried them to the finals, though.
Dwayne Wade.
Oh, yeah, D. Wade.
In just his third season in the league, at the age of only 24, D. Wade led his Heat squad to their first ever NBA title as a franchise. Miami took down the Mavericks in 6 games after losing the first 2. After going down 0-2 in the series, Wade knew his team needed more from him.
Facts,
Took
bro.
his
He need
play
to be
to
more
another
aggressive.
level. He was the leading scorer in games 3 through 6, as he averaged nearly 40 points per game. For the series as a whole, he averaged
40 points per game?
34.7 points, 7.8 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 2.7 steals per game. While some people assume Wade needed Shaq's help to win this ring, the Mavs actually held the Big Diesel in check for the most part. Shaq only averaged 13.7 points and 10.2 rebounds per game.
You don't really never see like one star win the championship on the team. He's always gonna have 2 stars on the team or somebody that's gonna step up.
Icon over the course of his career. 2009, Kobe Bryant.
Those
The Black Mamba
old
wasted no time
Heat
taking
jerseys
care of the
on
Magic
fire.
as the Lakers cruised to a 4-1 series over Orlando. This was big for
This one
Kobe and his
was
legacy at the time, as he had never
going-
won a ring
going
without
stupid.
Shaq by his side prior to this. Bryant was out to prove to everyone that he could
This one
win one
Orlando
on his
was
own.
good too.
That's exactly what he did, as he averaged 32.4 points, 5.6 rebounds, 7.4 assists, 1.4 steals, and 1.4 blocks per
Now you
game
got a
against the
poking eye
Magic
right
in the
there.
5-game series. He didn't have much help in the scoring department, as only one other Laker averaged more than 15 points per game that series.
See, man, that's
That
something.
didn't matter, because Kobe was on a
You
mission.
need
Bryant
a
was the
side
leading scorer in
person,
4
like
of those 5 games,
sidekick.
including going off for 40 in Game 1 and setting the tone for the series, winning by 25 that night. He was surgical from the opening tip of Game 1, and Dwight Howard's Magic never stood a chance. 1993, Michael Jordan. With a 6-0 record in the finals, you could choose a handful of different MJ performances to talk about here, but in 1993, he was extra special, even for his ultra-high standards. On Jordan's way to capturing his 3rd straight ring, he put up video game-like numbers against Charles Barkley's Suns. Michael was the leading scorer in all 6 games that series, as he averaged a whopping 41 points per game. MJ didn't just score against Phoenix, though. He did it all. He grabbed 8.5 boards, dished out 6.3 assists, and totaled 1.7 steals per contest as well.
So he doing this
It was
is
one of
be
Jordan's
little
better
things
shooting
too, man.
performances too, as he shot over
Just be the little
50%
things.
from the field and 40% from beyond the arc. Simply put, there was nothing the Suns could do to stop Jordan from going back to back to back. Thanks to MJ's dominance in this series, Shaq gets to continuously make fun of Charles Barkley for not having a ring during NBA on
That's
TNT.
tough.
2016,
You
LeBron
already
James.
know LeBron. I already
LeBron
expect
carried his
LeBron
fair
already.
share of less than stellar Cavs rosters to the finals, but
I don't know.
2016
This year they saying
was
that
the
LeBron
only
washed.
occasion he could
I think he
actually
still
get
got a
over the
couple
hump
more
and win
rings
it
in him.
all. Everything about this
Championships in him,
series
man.
was special for King James.
They gonna hang up the
First,
time.
the opponent and the obstacle, as Cleveland fell behind 3-1 to a team who had just set an NBA record by winning 73 games in the regular season.
Oh, yeah, that's wild,
Next,
bro.
factor in LeBron trying to end a 52-year professional sports title drought for the city he grew up just outside of. With all that in mind, James went out and nearly averaged a triple-double for the series, with 29.7 points,
Yeah, he was going
11.3
stupid, man.
rebounds,
Average a triple-double.
8.9 assists, 2.6 steals, and 2.3 blocks per game, as his team became the first in NBA history to ever come back from a 3-1 deficit in the finals. His chase-down block of Andre Iguodala in the closing minutes of Game 7 served as a microcosm of the effort and skill it took for LeBron to pull off what he did in 2016. Both that particular play and the entire series will forever be a part of NBA lore. 2011, Dirk Nowitzki.
You already
In
know.
what ended up being his only NBA
boy
title,
Dirk.
Dirk shocked
At
the
least he got a
basketball
title.
world as he and his Mavs
Only
upset
NBA title, at
Miami
least he got a title.
3 in just 6 games. When LeBron, D-Wade, and Chris Bosh formed a super team with the Heat, Some people viewed it as unfair. The trio was going to coast to not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7
I
rings
remember
in
these
South
times,
Beach.
man. This is times
LeBron's
when
words,
basketball
not mine.
was
The King forgot to factor in one
different.
thing, though. The big man from Germany. The Heat looked like they were well on their way to the first of many titles, as they took a 2-1 series lead, before Dirk led his team to 3 straight wins. He averaged 26 points and 9.7 rebounds per game, as Miami just had no answer for his mid-range game. The lone all-star on the Mavs team versus 3 all-stars for the Heat, and they still couldn't stop him. Dirk and the Mavs' path to the finals was just as impressive as dismantling Miami, as they swept the two-time defending champ Lakers in the second round, before beating the Thunder in the conference finals, who had their own young big 3 with James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and
That's
Kevin
what Harden used to come
Durant.
off the bench. 6-man.
2003,
6-man.
Tim Duncan. This one may be one of the more underappreciated NBA Finals performances, and it's fitting that it involves Tim Duncan. In a 6-game series against the New Jersey Nets, Duncan put up monster numbers.
Mr.
The
Fundamental.
big fundamental was more than just fundamental. He averaged 24.2 points, 17 rebounds, 5.3 assists, and an astounding 5.3 blocks per game. In the series clinching Game 6, Duncan was only 2 blocks away from a quadruple-double. He had 21 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists, and 8 blocks. Forgetting for a second that those numbers were to win a title, those are absurd for any game of basketball. Duncan's performance in that series is even more impressive when you consider he was going up against great players in Kenyon Martin and Dikembe Mutombo. During that Game 6, he held Martin to a gross 3-23 from the field. Don't let his mild personality fool you. Tim Duncan was a baller and had one of the more impressive finals performances ever in 2003.
Yeah, man, Tim
1995,
Duncan, bro.
Hakeem
Yeah, I love
Olajuwon.
the fundamentals.
The majority of the teams mentioned on this list were top seeds in their respective conferences. That was not the case for the Rockets in 95. Hakeem led his 6th-seeded squad
he got
all
one of
the
the
way
best
to the
footworks in the
finals
game,
after
man.
finishing
Hakeem
the regular
Olajuwon.
season just 8 games above 500 with 45 wins. Every team Houston faced in the playoffs that year
Had a little
won at
jumper,
least
too.
57 games. In the finals, they took on the number 1 seeded Magic, who had Shaq and Penny Hardaway. It didn't end up being much of a series, as Olajuwon helped his Rockets stroll to back-to-back rings by sweeping the Magic. Hakeem was the leading scorer in all 4 games and averaged 32.8 points, 11.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Although Shaq was pretty young then, it wasn't like Olajuwon took advantage of a trash center. 2000, Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, Shaquille.
Over the course of his 19-year NBA career, the Big Diesel brought home 4 titles, and his path to the first one was his most impressive. In a 6-game series against the Pacers,
we
Shaq
got
was the
rookie
leading
Kobe with him,
scorer
too?
in all 6 games and leading rebounder in 5.
Or
He was actually
sophomore
a
year
cheat code
Kobe, or
against
3rd year
Indiana,
Kobe.
as he averaged 38 points,
Shoot, I wasn't even born then.
16.7 rebounds, and 2.7 blocks per game. Shaq was efficient too, as he shot over 60% from the field. O'Neal didn't have much help that series,
He's just
as
a power
only
guy.
one other Laker averaged more than 12 points per game that series, Kobe at 15.6. In addition, nobody else was really grabbing boards for LA. Other than Shaq, Robert Horry was the only Laker to average more than 5 rebounds per game, and he only snagged 5.2. It was the type of finals performance from the Big Diesel that somehow matched his physical stature and size of his personality. Which of these performances do you think is most impressive? Are there any that you think we missed?
Well, I don't know. But, man, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. And I'm out.